to start this off. Welcome to the show.
It's not
Bunch of fucking
turntablism.
bullshit.
It's not
Shut up!
turntablism.
I hate you so much.
It is.
Shut the fuck up, Johnny. Dude, I fucking hate that. Good morning.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Hello. Welcome back to Things I Hate. I want to yell, but Caitlin is sleeping. It's 7:13. 7:22 in the a.m. What time you got? 7:22 in the a.m. Not quite time yet. Let's hang back for a minute. Look, all I'm saying is a foot massage ain't nothing. You can't be running around giving Marcellus Wallace's wife a foot massage. Fucking Tony Montero knew what he was doing, and he fucking should have known better. Paraphrasing. Pulp Fiction. Could have done the whole fucking scene. Ooh. Pulp Fiction, you've probably never heard of it. You probably don't even fucking know that movie, you fucking idiot. He's fucking stupid. 7:22 in the a.m. Let's hang back for a minute. Fuck! I'm feeling good. Shit! I got my fucking Nitro Chat coffee. 10,000 pounds of calories. No, of caffeine. Coursing through my veins. Dude, so much fun. Look at my sexy shoes. Oh, fuck. Caitlin got me these for my birthday. I'm trying to break them in. I told you guys, if you remember, I told you Things I Hate was going to get crazier. We're not doing stereotypical male podcaster anymore. We're doing, oh, fuck my shoes. A lot of bullshit happened with Things I Hate. I'm sketched even now. I hope this is going to be good. In fact, I'm going to do a crazy thing. I'm going to just pause quickly. There we go. That was scary. Okay. What I just did is I paused the sound recording because the last, and I checked it for quality, because the last episode, I recorded an episode like mid-late June. Because the last week of June, I went away to New York, and I was like, I know I won't be able to record in New York because Caitlin's apartment is, it's not even an apartment, it's like her living situation. I think I told you guys it's like a dorm room. So I won't be able to record there, and I'm not going to lug all my shit to New York. So I like recorded one here, but the audio was all fucked up because this cord kept like moving. And it would be like, and then the volume would fluctuate, and it would be, it was fucking unusable. It was brutal to listen to, even though it was a medium episode anyway, I'm not gonna lie. But, so I had that in the bank. That was supposed to come out like last week of June, but it didn't because the audio was so fucked. Then like, it's just been like, so I came back I came back on the 28th of June. Then I had to drive to Ottawa immediately, like the next morning. I came back the night of that. Had to drive to Ottawa the next morning to get schmaltz. Then I stayed a couple days, or like one night, because my family was there, so I visited them. And I drove back. And then it was like the work week. And then Caitlin came home on like that Tuesday. So then I was hanging out with her. And then this past weekend, I had two shows, one here and one in Ottawa. So I had to go back to Ottawa, and so like now I'm just catching my breath, You know what I mean? I was like, good gravy almighty. You know, and I had a rental car, so I had to get the rental car back to, you know. So just kind of mayhem. So I had one in the bank for that time. I'm just, you know, I'm just sorry, you know, because forever who's listening to the show, and here's some shout outs that I owe. And if I might say, in summer, it never snows, and there's only one thing to know, and this is the Things I Hate show. And bitches better know, because I only bring that 514 energy. So if you know, you know. Fuck. Trying to rhyme, pussy. Grab my dick. You ever heard super hot fire spit from a dude in capri length jeans with brown loafers? Nah. You never heard that before. This is a first ever. A first ever sexy bitch podcast. This is original, untapped resources. Content gold. This is fresh. Fresh valleys of unsaid sentences as far as the eye can see, stretching beyond the imagination. Watching towering rock formations of old thoughts come to light, crumble, and fall in cascading brilliance before your very eyes, so that only you can witness this once-in-a-lifetime performance. I told you we're getting crazy. I had a little bit of coffee. I'm fucking wired. I had a little bit of coffee and a good sleep, and I'm fucking wired, dude. Shout outs. Mike Latest. I'm saying his full name. I don't know if they want me to, but love you, bitch, because he's an OG fan. There's some OG fans. I mean, they're mostly my friends, but still, like, it's not an easy show to pitch. if I'm going to be real. I was thinking about this earlier when I was taking a shit, you know, just now when I was setting everything up. It's like, you know, self-hate aside, of like, you know, I'm always hard on myself and shit. We're still figuring this show out, you know. It's not all bangers front to back, you know what I mean? There's bits of entertainment. I don't think that's, you know, objectable or fucking debatable, you know what I mean? But it's not front to back, fucked up front to back bangers. It's like, put this shit on when you're doing your laundry, you know what I mean? Or like when you're doing meal prep or cleaning the house or whatever. You know, you can't sit down for an hour and listen to me bitch and moan about shit. Come on. If somebody came up to me and they're like, you know what I do? Like Saturday nights, I get nice and cozy in my TV room or in my little couch, and I put on your podcast and I just sit and listen to it. I'd be like, get away from me. You're going to kill someone. You know? So it's like, come on. Like, but anyway, so when my friends are like, yo, I listen to your podcast, and they say it repeatedly, I'm like, that's very sweet, you know. So Mike Latest, he listens, shouts out, and his fiance, I don't think they're married yet, Lauren, shouts out, love you guys. Oh my god, yeah, okay, yeah, cool. And my friend Matt Dickey, day one supporter. Honestly, I don't know if he still listens to Things I Hate. But, you know, day one supporter of my comedy. Every time I do a show in Ottawa, it comes through. He's in Ottawa. Other shouts out, Sid Ahmed. Huge supporter, huge fan. Would love him. OG homie from McGill. Bro, I don't talk to anyone from McGill anymore except for Sid, because Sid's a real motherfucking G. You know, he's a fucking good guy. Haven't met a lot of incredibly nice people as Sid. So shouts out Sid Ahmed. He's the man. Shouts out the Pierre twins. Shouts out you guys. You know, I see you. I saw a thing. These guys are young guys, and they started to fuck with me a bit. I knew them from the frat. Gang. I saw something. One of them posted. They were like, yo. It was basically like, I don't think I'm blowing up his spot yet because he put it on his story. But it was like, it was like a cake. It was like a cake joke where there was like a lot of writing on a cake. And it was like, oh, I'm 27. I'm already a burden on my parents and I have no idea what I'm doing. Like it was, it was like a millennial or whatever, a Gen Z joke, whatever the fuck. But it was like, oh, like I'm 27 and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And I just, dude, like quick announcement, quick PSA. If you're 27 and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, that's the point. Like you're good. You're so good. And I'm not trying to be a David Goggins. I'm trying to be like, if you're listening to this, don't worry about it. Don't feel bad. Don't beat yourself up. It's okay. I swear to God, like, don't worry about this. The best advice I can give you if you're feeling like that, search out your passions. It's fucking corny, and I'll try to break it down in a more usable way. If you're feeling like that, do shit. Like, go and do shit. And it doesn't have to be a big, I'm going to go to fucking Prague and hang out. I'm going to go to fucking London and be a model. It's like, just find a thing that you're into, or not even like that, like, okay, I'm definitely into this thing for now and forever. Just find something that in that moment is like cool, but like be doing a thing, be creating a thing, be like organizing an event, or like, it could be your job, right? Like find a cool job, or like start a business, or like start painting, start a hobby, like find a sport that you like. Like it could be anything, just something that like jacks you up, and something that you're like getting better at. You know what I mean? That you're like practicing and improving. But anything that you practice and improve and that makes you feel good when you succeed in it, just find that. And even if it only makes you feel good for like a month when you succeed in it, then that's fine. But just find it, because like two things will happen. Is one, you'll be determining if you like this thing long term. And two, you'll be practicing skills. And I guess three, like, if it turns out that you want to stick with this thing for a long time, you'll have some of those skills locked up. Oh my God, Caitlin just woke up. Now I'm fucking. But you'll have some of those skills lined up and practice. Like, I've always been into cartoons, and I've always wanted to make my own cartoon, And I'm like an okay visual artist. I'm an okay drawer, as we used to say in middle school, We have a visitor. No schmaltz today. He's going to go for a walk with his mama. We're fully dog parents. I'm entrenched. That's my son. I impregnated Caitlin, and she birthed him. And it's our son that we treat as schmaltz. Kind of an ethnic name. Kind of an homage. I don't know, neither of us are Jewish. We just really like the way it's... This is fucking crazy. But anyway, so... Yeah, if you're 27 or like, whatever, if you're quote unquote young, if you feel lost, if you're fresh out of high school, if you're in high school, and you're tweaking, because there's so much pressure nowadays. I mean, I felt a ton of pressure when I was a kid to have it all, whether it came from my family or like society, because of social media right now. All this success and affluence is like present everywhere. So it's like, wherever it comes from, there's a lot of pressure for kids, young people, to like crush it in all areas. Try to ignore that and just find some shit that you feel good about when you improve. If you feel good about when you improve it, it's going to make you really happy. You know what I mean? So don't worry about the future. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about that awkward shit that you did second year university when you went to that party and you didn't know anybody, Don't worry about that shit. Just find a thing that you feel good improving and work on it. Okay, that's enough of that, man. I'm embarrassed because I was getting heartfelt, and Caitlin and Schmaltz are right out there, and they're probably like, look at this fucking guy. He thinks he knows what he's fucking talking about. Come on. I'm just waiting for them to leave. It's just embarrassing. I don't know, I'd like to do this alone so that no one can hear the crazy shit that I say. Of course, then I put it out to all you guys, so it's different for me. It's just different. That's also why I don't have guests, because it's just like, it's hard for me to be myself around people. Oh, it's so fucking depressing. Oh my God. I'll figure it out one day. Honestly, who's really helping me do that is Caitlin. Caitlin really forces me to be myself because she's like, I don't want to get Caitlin. Can you get the fuck out of here, please? Oh God, I'm hot. I'm getting nervous. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just waiting for them to go. Ding dong, ding, ding dong, ding. Okay, thank God. God damn it. Yeah. If you're 27 or whatever, 20s, no schmaltz, no Caitlin, by the way. They're going for a walk today. But if you're schmaltz, if you're 27 and you're in your whatever, if you're young, fresh out of high school, fresh out of university, whatever, or just if you're feeling doubt in general, but especially for young people, because like this is how I felt in and out of university and high school. Just find a thing that you feel good about when you improve it. And that's the marker or like the metric. And you're like, when that start, like if you put some time into it and you feel yourself improve and you get better and you're like, oh, this feels good. Then keep doing that, cause like either you'll find like a career or like a lifelong passion or something like, it will define part of your personality, or you'll just have experience. Like it'll be like a test, and you'll be like, okay, didn't like that, move on to the next. You know what I mean? And give it enough time so that if you think you might be into something, like give it a shot. Be like, all right, I'm gonna do this thing for like a month or two, and then if I hate it by the end of 2 months or a month or a year or whatever time you need to set, because you'll know in your heart. Because the thing I had is like, well, how long do I know I have to try it? It's like the biggest thing that fucked me up in my life is like fear of, I guess, failure, but it's like a little bit more complex. It's like fear of starting even. It's like analysis paralysis, right? Where I'm like, well, I don't know how long I should do this for. And like, I don't have all the equipment. I don't know all the thing. I know when you don't have money, it's like hard to do a lot of things. When you're young, you don't have money. Like, do it. Try to rip it. Make your credit card bill go a little bit fucked. Don't go like 50 grand in debt, or do that. I mean, if you really feel it. But, I was just so cautious about a lot of things. And it just slowed down my life a lot, which is not a bad thing. But it's like, I didn't try stand-up or I didn't try like performing stuff until I was like 24, right? 23. And now it's like a huge part of my life. And I love it. And it makes me feel good. I also saw this thing and it was like very creative people, if they don't have a creative outlet, they put that creativity into their everyday life and they end up like spiraling about the past and like worrying about the future or like making up scenarios. About people and making up conflicts. And I was like, that hits deep to me. You know what I mean? Because I'm overthinking shit constantly. I'm making up like opinions people have of me that, you know, hold no water, right? Are so far from sense. My cousin, he's honestly, I can't tell this because I haven't asked him and it's pretty personal. But anyway, that happens, especially if you're creative and you don't have an outlet. So if you've ever felt creative, try creating shit. I just advocate so hard for people to get into creative stuff, because for me growing up, my outlook on creative stuff was like, it's not viable as a career, can't fucking do it, and it's like kind of gay, you know? It's like not, it's not gay. It wasn't like gay. It was just like, it's like, well, it's not viable as a career. And there was like a big, it was like a big, like, it wasn't, it was also like, well, I can't do it. I'm not an artist. I can't do it. But it's like take that out. Everyone is an artist. Everyone can do art, and art comes in many different forms, right? It's like doing a fucking podcast. It's like doing a webcomic, you know? It's like writing a poem, writing a journal, you know, cooking, like a fucking doing an event, putting on an event. I feel like that can be art, right? Like setting up a display, like anything. It's, you have to follow your heart. So I'm getting jacked up in the morning. Come on. And now Schmaltz and Caitlin left, so I can yell, but I can't yell too much because I don't live in the country. Okay, let's get back to it. That was a ramble, but I just feel passionate about it. So, you know, if you're in that situation, you know, you're good. You're doing good. You're good, and I love you, and you're going to be all right. Just find a thing that you like. Things I hate, baby. Things I hate is a phone call with me. Okay. A thing that I think I've talked about, but a weakness of mine is like, fuck this. I'm all anxious now. Caitlin threw off my tempo. Okay, whatever. A thing of mine that I saw was a weakness, or like, weakness is such a strong word, but anyway, something I wanted to work on is like when I get on phone calls with people, I will call my friends up to chat, and then I'll talk for 30 minutes at them, and then I'll be like, okay, good to see you, bye. You know, it's like an emotional dump. And I realized that's what things I hate is, right? Because after a while on the phone call, I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this. This is shitty. And this is bad friend behavior. And like partner, I would do that with Kaylin too. So I was like, okay, I stop that. Or I'm like, you know, I'm working on it. But then I was like, oh, that's why I don't guess. Because it's like, an ideal conversation for me is party B shuts up, or like only contributes when I tell them to. Then party A, me, talks the whole time. Who could resist? Really, right? Who could resist a conversation like that? Fucking for me. So and I was like, why do I like doing this podcast so much? And it's like, oh yeah, this is like my ideal phone call, guilt-free, because it's just like, if you're listening to this, it's by choice. So I know it's like you're strapped in for a one-sided combo. And so I don't feel bad. So it's great. You know, I just get to fucking bust out all the bullshit that I've been thinking about for the past little while. Schmaltz. I'm hungry. Fuck. Schmaltz dad. I'm in my head, dude. I had a really good start to this episode. I think it's still fun. I'm still having a good time. Okay, I should probably stop talking about it. Yeah, stop talking about it. Don't pick at the wound. Oh my God. Panic. Schmaltz dad. I told you guys I was a dog dad. I fully am. I think that was in it. Yeah. I'm full 180 on the dog dad thing. Oh my God. No, that's a joke though. Okay, don't go around being like, Tom's a dog dad. But like, I fucking love that creature. God, I fucking love that little fucker. God, he's such a good boy. and his ears are so velvety smooth. Oh, he's just such a. And he'll let you snuggle him if you know him. I give him oh, God, just love that little bitch. God, so snuggly. Anyway, having children is a vastly different from dogs. I'm not, it's not the same, but there are a lot of similarities, and they're closer than I realized. And I was in my house the other day, and I really felt like a dad because I was vacuuming, and Schmaltz's toys were everywhere, and I was picking up all the toys and putting them in his bed to to vacuum. And I was like, God damn, why do I have so many fucking toys? He never cleans up his toys. What the fuck? And I'm cleaning up his toys, and I'm like, oh my God, this is what it would be like, This is what so it's like slices. That's exactly what it would be like, I imagine, right? And I've had that similar vibe when I'm hanging out with my nephews. Then I had to order some dog food for him. And I call up a place thinking dog food, how hard could it be? And I'm like, yeah, can I get some dog food? It's like this brand. And they're like, oh, okay, what flavor? And I'm like, I think lamb. And they're like, okay, blueberry lamb or pumpkin lamb? And I'm like, already this is way many more decision trees than I thought I'd have to deal with, right? I thought it was going to be multiple choice with 2 options, true or false. And we're multiple choice and then explain your answer a little bit now. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, lamb and blueberry. And she's like, great, what size? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, what size of bag? And I was like, oh, large. And then she was like, okay, great. And for what size of dog? And now, of course, you've presented a classic overthinker with 5 questions. So my mind is, I'm like, immediately I go to the most insane. I'm like, well, what's your metric for dog size, right? Where's the international standard, the chart for dog size? Because what I consider to be a large dog perhaps may not be the same consideration of a large dog for you, right? So what are your standards? Where's the overseeing body that determines dog sizes? And the cashier was like, small, medium, or large, you fucking psycho, and I was like, okay, well, medium. So she's like, what size? And I'm like, of what? Dog. And she's like, I'm like, medium. And then she's like, what size of kibble? And now I'm like, okay, this is fully now a you problem. Because it's like, she's like, what size of kibble? And I was like, well, what are the choices? And she's like, you can have small ones or big ones, right? And I was like, okay. But it's like, what was I going to say? It's like, yeah, she was like, small ones for small dogs or big ones for big dogs. And then I was like, okay, I guess I'll take the big one. And she's like, oh, well, we don't have that in the lamb size. And I was like, okay, well, how much does it fucking matter? And she's like, you should probably take it for the, anyway, it was just like, we go through all these, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like, halfway through, I'm like, I got to call my girlfriend and call you back. So I was like, this is what, I imagine this is what it feels like when the dad goes to the parent teacher conference and the teacher is like, okay, do you have the permission slip for the field trip and also the entry for the baking sale? And the dad's like, what? No. They're like, what big? I thought this was school, not a fucking culinary institution. What do you mean? That's how I feel. That's how I imagine it will feel. Of course, Caitlin will murder me if I'm a dad like that. So, I got to get my shit together, and I'm practicing. But Schmaltz dad, quadriplegic joke in front of a cripple. I have a great joke about quadriplegia. Classic comedic topic, right? Nothing's funnier than a life-changing accident. Nothing is funnier, right? Nothing's funnier than a tragedy. I was saying that sarcastically, but they have that fucking the 2 masks thing to represent theater, tragedy and comedy. They say tragedy and comedy, 2 sides of the same coin. I'm inclined to agree. I have an inclination. Recently, my friend of mine was like, hey, I got some bad news. And I was like, what? And he's like, 2 of our close friends are getting divorced. And I laughed. I laughed. I fully laughed. I was like, oh, fuck. You know, like, bro, not the response. And it's like I'm uncomfortable. I don't fucking know. Honestly, it was like the issue with these people is like I had met them. They weren't my close friends. I know them, but I had met them and I had judged them, and I was like, these guys are insane. Like this relationship is never gonna last. And but it looked great. Like it looked like they were working really and it looked wonderful. But me judgy their great relationship in their world like made me insecure. But I was also like, there's no way this can fucking, there was like a lot going on. But what had happened is like, I was being judgy. I was being a cunt. So I was like, Tom, don't think that. Don't think that's don't judge them, you dick. Don't think it's going to fail because it's a little different from what you would like. Don't be an asshole. And I chastised myself and I was like, okay, I'm sorry. And then ring, ring. Hey, guess what? These guys are fucking in the toilet, And so I couldn't help. But that's shitty. It's so shitty. But it's like, dude, sometimes you have shitty thoughts and feelings. You know what I mean? And it's like, you can't hide those away. A lot of time people are like, you should talk about more things you love on here. And I'm like, first of all, fuck you. Is this Things I Hate podcast hosted by some random shithead on the internet? No, it's Things I Hate podcast hosted by Tom Murphy. So unless your name is Tom Murphy and you live at this address, you can kindly blow me, First of all, that is like suck my dick and fucking die, right? But second of all, it's not like I kept it. I have thought about changing it to like something less negative or aggressive. But I'm a hater, dude. A big part of me is a hater. And a big thing I had to work through in therapy is like shame around pretty much all parts of myself. And Things I Hate is kind of a celebration of like saying it and saying things that are like you think are bad about yourself, but that we can talk through and be like, I have this feeling, I know that it's shitty, but it's like it's still fun to talk about. And just because I have this thought or feeling, it doesn't make me a shit person. It doesn't make me a piece of shit. You know what I mean? So that's a big part of this podcast for me. So that's why I'm not changing it. But anyway, just a little aside. Oh yeah, so the quadriplegia shit. Oh fuck, it's had a nice fart. Yeah, this joke about how my mom would always warn us about quadriplegia and how she said it too much, and then how I got obsessed and I would like point at people in wheelchairs and be like, "Ma, that guy is fucking quadriplegic," Like she tried to be like, be careful, like a lot of things can cause a broken neck and that can really fuck up your life. So just watch it if you're doing extreme sports. A lot to unpack there, frankly. I don't think we'll get into it today. But like, a point is I got that warning a lot, and she was trying to like warn us and make us careful when we were doing whatever activities, not to break our neck. Of course, all it really did is gave me anxiety every time I dove in a pool, right? I would dive in a pool with my hands way out. I would dive the shallowest I could, and then I'd like, fuck, don't hit the bottom. Because she was like, you could dive and hit the bottom and break your neck. And you always see those stickers on the pool as a kid that's like some stick man who doesn't even have a neck, but his head is positioned in the wrong place. And you're like, oh my God, like that guy's fucked up, So that terrified me. Anyway, I have this joke, and I'm at this show, and I'm doing the set, and the crowd is like medium, and I'm just warming them up, and this is like my intro set. That like the point of it is like I talk about my mom, I talk about me as a kid. It's like pretty PG material, and it really like. The point is it shows my personality pretty good, so that sets up other jokes. Because I'll be the first to say it. My jokes always work better if you know me more. The more you know me, the funnier it is, right? So, which is probably true for most comics, but I think especially for me. So this kind of gives you, it's like a soft introduction to me. There's no like harsh like topics. It's like chill, right? So the point is it's very important for my set, because if I don't get this chill intro, some of the other shit I say, people might pull back because they don't know me. So I can't skip it. And I'm halfway through the joke and I'm like, oh, I'm doing my fucking thing. And then I look in the crowd and I see this guy like fully quadriplegic. Like straw. And you know, physical disability, like wokeness, physical disabilities I feel have like really are not at the forefront of the woke movement. What's at the forefront? Gay shit, race, like immigrants, right? Something like that. Religion? No, not even, right? Gay shit and race. That's like, and sexuality. But that's kind of gay shit too. LGBTQ and race, right? And sexuality. So, you know, physical disabilities is not, it's not like I was saying anything brutal. I wasn't like, you know what, fuck you if you can't walk. Like, you know, but like, it's a joke about, anyway, I forget where I was going with this, but yeah, I don't know. But it's just like, what was it? I guess it's like, cause like, I hadn't really thought, oh yeah, it's cause I like other jokes that I write because of all this woke shit. I'm very aware of how it could be offensive, and it does kind of suck. I mean, I hate saying that, but it's like, you do have to write, like I write really carefully around all that material. Cause it's like cause you don't want to be perceived as an asshole, which is shitty. Cause the real reason should be, you don't want to not offend, but like you don't want to punch down. There's just like, you don't want to write, I guess, like, I don't know, it's a fine line, because it's like I guess you just don't want to write a hack joke. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, like, when I'm writing around like hot topics, I'm like, if I have something to say about it, I'll try to say it if I'm comfortable saying it, and if I feel that it's honest. But the point is, I'm putting a lot of thought down on these topics. The quadriplegic thing, like, I put a bit of thought, but because physical disabilities are not at the forefront of the woke movement, I was just kind of like, fucking can't walk. And I never really thought about interacting with a person that would have that, because it's frankly few and far between. You know, I'm not seeing wheelchairs every day. You know what I mean? So, and then all of a sudden I'm midway through the set and I see this guy like, and I'm like, so anyway, I did it. It was fine. And then later I'm like a little hammied leaving the show, and I see the guy, I'm walking around the corner and I see him boop, 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 like getting into the special van with all the ramp and shit. And I was like going to go walk past him to leave, and I fully hid behind a van, because I was like, I'm not going to even entertain the possibility that I see that guy. And he's like, so quadriplegic, you think that's fucking funny? Of course, it would be more like, ooh, that's tough. Oh, God. Okay, we'll test the woke movement. I mean, we'll see. Nobody fucking watches this anyway, but we'll see how canceled I get for that one. God. I'm going back to every episode I ever recorded. I'm like, how shitty was I? I think I'm okay. Anyway, it's kind of harder to be a comedian in obscurity, because it's like, if you're famous, you can do like sample. You can be like, oh, I'll do something a little bit offensive, gauge the reaction, and be like, oh, there's the line. But if you're obscure like me, you know, and no one's listening to you, and no one's reacting to your shit, And then 5 years later, hopefully I blow up and they go back and they go, you said what? And you're like, but I didn't have a barometer. It's me in my fucking bedroom. So, I hope my sense is good. Jesus. Blank, ready to hate her. This was a lady. This was a lady. My friend called me up and he goes, he's like a freelancer. And he was doing video for a mutual acquaintance, and then it's more his friend, but it's my acquaintance. And then he's like, oh yeah, this lady, let's call her Paulina. Paulina didn't pay me. I've been waiting like months, and so and I was like, no sweat, because I've been waiting for a reason to hate her. Because you know why? She's a hot lady and she makes me insecure when I'm around her. I mean, there's more. I don't really like her demeanor. You know what I mean? But it's general. I think it's mostly insecurity. And so I was like, no sweat. I've been waiting for a reason to hate her. Fuck that lady. So just a shitty thing. I thought it was kind of funny. Love a Google snitch. It's honestly not really a Google snitch. It's the opposite. But I love it when Google puts, there's a cop here on the Google Maps, I'm sure there's some other ulterior corporate motive for it. But for me, I take it as like a small instance that Google is not a complete state corporate sellout. I'm sure in the States they'll start removing it. In fact, they'll start probably hiding it and then showing it to ICE members of like, hey, ICE, here's a fucking immigrant. Why don't you go get them? You know what I mean? Excuse me. I shouldn't even say immigrant. Here's a brown person. Here's someone that ICE is motivated via prejudice to detain and abuse. So go get them. Anyway. I just fucking made myself sad. But, I just like it when Google is like, watch out for the cops, homie. It's not a snitch. What's the opposite of a snitch? It's like a lookout. It's like, yo, watch out for the cops. And they're like, is it still there? So you can tell other people, I thought that's a cool feature. I'm surprised that's allowed, frankly. But I mean, the speeding thing is such bullshit. I would love to know the stats on how effective speeding tickets are at, what would be the purpose, I suppose, reducing car accidents, right? Or incidents or fatalities or whatever. Probably just accidents. I'd love to see the stats on that. My bet, not that fucking effective. In fact, I would bet that it's below zero, right? If there's an effectiveness percentage of decreases, it increases. No, yeah, if it's decreases car accidents by 5%, I would bet not below zero, because then that would imply that it was causing car accidents. Maybe it would. Anyway, I think it would be I would bet that it's zero. It doesn't affect. Or, you know what? I'd bet that it's under 10% change. Sometimes music is just like a cool rock. I forget why I was saying this. I just had this thought that struck me. I forget. I think I was seeing music critics or oh, no, it's because sometimes I hear songs on Spotify that I think are cool, but I don't really want to listen to that much. I'm this is a cool thing. It's crazy and weird and it sounds cool, but I don't want to play it on repeat every day. It's not my favorite album. And I was like, oh, should I even keep it if I don't want to listen to it? And it's dude, sometimes music is just a cool rock you find. It's am I going to look at this rock every day? Do I love this fucking rock? No, but it's kind of neat. I'll bring it home, put it on my windowsill. You know what I mean? And you don't love it, but it's oh, cool. And every once in a while you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, cool rock. You know what I mean? I'm not going to stare at it for 5 hours a day, but it's it's cool. So I thought, because I just have this, compulsion to be if I don't like it 110%, it can't go in my fucking library. You can manipulate people with genuine feelings. This is kind of dark. It's okay, fuck Tom. So I just, I had a kind of naive attitude for a long time where it's like, if you tell someone the truth, it's always good, which is incorrect, I think, for obvious reasons. And so then the next evolution of that is like, okay, well, don't tell the truth all the time, but like, usually you should share how you're feeling. No, it's like, basically where I'm going is like, I never really stopped to consider other people's feelings. Oh no, God. Between my work, dating Caitlin, and this podcast, it's been important for my self-development. I'll tell you that. It's been like, hey man, just so you know, other people exist in this world. And I'm sitting there like, are you fucking sure? Are you sure? Because I'm like, I think it's only me. And people are like, nah, like we're here too. I'm like, I don't know. I got to think about that, crazy. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's from, I don't want to shit on my family too much. I love them and they're great. But it's like, I've been telling my family about my Just for Laughs show. And it's been like hard to explain to them the magnitude of this importance to me versus Caitlin finds out I get JFL. She's like over the moon. And Caitlin's not really an expressive person. You know what I mean? So the point is that Caitlin knows when something is really important to me, which is nice. And it's like, I feel like, I'm sorry, I don't want to talk shit about my family. I love them, but I feel like that is the hard thing for my family is like, we are all in our own world so much that it's like, that makes relationships really hard, right? If you're only thinking about you, how the fuck are you gonna have a relationship? You know what I mean? So just something I wish was a little different, but you gotta love people as you are too. And my family is, they treat me well. I love you guys. I'm sorry. I feel bad about talking shit because, they're great, but it's okay. Everybody has some shit. My parents would be like, no, we're so sorry, but everyone has some shit, guys. It's okay, family. I love you. It's just some shit about Caitlin. Is this good? Send her reels while I'm holding her phone. Sometimes she's like, can you hold my phone when we go for walks? Because, girls don't have pockets. And so I do. And then I'm like, oh, this is a cool reel. And then her phone buzzes in my pocket. And I'm like, who the fuck am I sending this reel to? I don't know. Stupid, Progressive. Oh, yeah. She's like, this pissed me off. She's like, I hate men. Men are stupid, And I'm like, fuck you. I'm a man. That shit's annoying. So she's like feminism, and she's progressive as hell until IKEA shows up and she's like, I guess you're going to build this whole thing. And this is a classic boomer joke, right? But I'm just saying it because it's so explicit with her. Like, she's like, we got some curtain rods. She's like, I guess you're going to hang those. I was like, why? Am I a curtain hanging specialist? I've talked about this shit before. It keeps happening. So, I keep bringing it up. But it's like, yeah, we got some curtain rods. She's doing it. She can't fucking do math. Caitlin is incredibly smart. She's one of the smartest people I've ever met. Can't do math to save her fucking life. The other day I was like, we were talking about percentages, and she was like, yeah, so it'll be 70% of this and 40% of that for 100%. And I'm like, it stopped me in my tracks, right? Because I was like, I wasn't like, oh my God. I was like, she's so confident that I was like, hold on, am I missing something? Like 70 and 40. And she was like, eventually she was like, oh, no, that's not 100. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, how are you budgeting with this? She's going to kill me for saying it, but we got curtains and she had one measurement to do, which is like top to bottom. They had to be the full length of the wall. And they get here and they're like 4 feet shorter than the bottom of the wall. I was like, yo, can't fucking measure, Oh, she's going to be so pissed. It's okay. I know I'm getting old too, or like I'm getting domesticated because our vacuum broke and it was like, a big saga for me to get a new one because I basically went to get a new head. The head broke. I went to get a new head. It's like an old model. They don't fucking make it anymore. And so it was a big thing. First, I went to like some specialized vacuum seller out of the fucking Calgary. They like his supplier had it on back order. Didn't know when he was going to get more. Ordered one hoping it would show up. Waited a bit, canceled. Went onto eBay, found one. The shipping was too much to Canada. Shipped it to New York where Caitlin is. Then she had to bring it home. So by the time she got it home, it felt like, I felt like I'm a mom during World War II waiting for a letter home from her son, right? He writes it in the trenches of Normandy. Mother, I love you. I miss you. The fighting is hard here, but we are surviving. Your dearest, Timothy, and that letter is wrapped up in brown paper and passed to the military person as he gallops. There's no fucking cars. All the Jeeps are broken, so he gallops back to the coast, takes a boat to Britain, and takes a fucking boat back to North America on high seas. And then he gets off and he gives it to the dockman at New York, and he sorts it, and then he sends it on a truck all the way to rural Ontario, where finally the mother, that was me with the vacuum head. And so when Caitlin got back from New York, I was like, did you bring home the vacuum? And she was like, yeah. And I literally I was like, yes! Because I'd been waiting like a worried mother, I've been using this, the vacuum we have, the head part has a hole in it. So the suction is fucked. And the only way you can have the suction is to vacuum at an awkward angle so the hole kind of closes a bit. So I've been struggling here. I've been struggling like a mother struggles with her loneliness when her sons are at war. But I've been lonely from a clean house. I've been missing. I have not. Dog hair is everywhere, just like memorabilia of a mother's sons are everywhere as she tries in vain to wash the dishes and keep the house together when she knows her sons are being shot at and blown apart and nobody fuck. It's everywhere. I see Schmaltz's dog hair everywhere. And all I could think of is when I had a clean house. And I could never do it again. Look at me. I'm going to be such a good actor. Cry on a dime, Shocking ability. I didn't really realize I had this ability until lately. But I really can get watery at the drop of a hat. I don't think I can't weep. You know what I mean? I can't weep. But I can get my eyes a little teary. It's not hard for me. My emotions are just sitting about a centimeter below the surface. They're just right there, like, oh, yeah. That's it. Oh, I mean, airplane gripes. Classic. It's a federal offense in Canada, I think in America. No, or America. Anyway, it's in one of the two or both. If you stand up, if you ignore the instructions from a flight attendant when the plane is taxiing, federal offense. Kind of bullshit, Flying is fucking bullshit, okay? Like, fuck flying. God, fuck these airlines. Fuck the border agents. Fuck these flight attendants, man. You can tell I'm destined to be a problem passenger. If I wasn't so terrified of conflict, I'm sure I would have gotten arrested by now. You know what I mean? But one, takeoff and landing. Close your computer. Why? Don't use fucking earpods. Why? I'm sure someone will be like, cause it interferes with the plane. Hey man, if it fucking interfered with the plane, let me tell you, you wouldn't be allowed earbuds on the fucking plane. Okay? If it was that important, they'd be like, no earbuds. If it was important enough to where it's like, oh yeah, this is worth shutting it down, then they'd just be like, no way. Because then people would explode. The plane would explode. Everyone would die. Just use your brain. Close your computer laptop during takeoff. Why? I don't know. Did I look it up? Fuck no. But like, what jumps to mind? I mean, like, Because if we crash, it'll make it worse. Your computer will impale you. Because if we crash, the tray will fucking hit you. Make sure your seat's in an upright position. Why? You can only move it about a fucking centimeter anyway. It goes from this to this. Why? Why? And the flight attendants come by. Sir, can you put your seat up? They're always like that. It's like, yo, why are they so cunty? Because they have to deal with people like me all day who go, why? I'm comfortable right now, and I'm playing video games on my computer, and I don't want to wait for a little bit. I want to play right now. I don't want to wait. I'd like to have it. Why the fuck do we need to do that? Come on. TSA. Everyone at the airport is always in a bad mood. Everyone who works there. Why are they in a bad mood? Because they work in an airport. But it's just like, surely there is a better solution. I don't know. I wonder if airports and airline workers are destined to be grumpy 24/7. You know, you contrast that with the Via Rail workers. Dude, shouts out as usual to Via Rail. Via Rail, I'm gassing them up so hard. They, I believe, are a government subsidized. I'm not sure if they're owned by the government. They're definitely, I'm pretty sure they're subsidized. Anyway, the workers there are the friendliest people I've ever encountered, like as a worker, and it's consistent. It's always like you're getting checked in. Always a smile, quick laugh, like a how you doing, you know, like it's truly consistent. I think Via is, when people like talk about Canada internationally and they're like, they're so nice, Via Rail, you know, quote me on that. Also Via, your marketing though needs a boost. You know, you got to change up your marketing strategy because you got too much good shit going on for you know, how known and popular it is. It does feel like the train is getting more popular though. I see a lot more people on the train than I used to. Of course, I didn't used to take the train as frequently, but anyway, they frequently I've gotten like, you know, I call in, I'm like, oh, my train's delayed, or I have to change it or like cancel it, and they're like, oh, well, we're not supposed to refund you, but like I fucking got you, you know, or like I'll give you a deal. Almost every time I called that, right? And people are like, well, they probably just do that with everyone. And it's like, yeah, probably. That's good. You know what I mean? Well, why don't they just change their prices down? I don't fucking know, you know? But the point is they could not do it, right? And they just, one time I missed my stop, right? I went past my stop. They just put me on another train back there. No charge, right? Just go back another stop, dude. No charge, you know? Caitlin left her wallet on the train. No problem. Here it is. We found it. Here you go. It's just always nice. So take the train if you live on the Toronto-Quebec City corridor. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not always, it's not super fast. It's roughly the same speed as a car. But it's a lot more comfortable. You don't have to drive, and it's not fucking flying, okay? I heard the Wi-Fi is okay in business class. I haven't really fucked with that much. But business class is not that expensive either. It's not cheap. But it's not that expensive, especially if you book in advance. The train, if you book in advance, can be really good. Like if you book a month out, I can get a round trip ticket to Ottawa for like about $100, something like that. Maybe like 120, you know, all in with taxes and everything. So it's not like, that's on the cheap side too. I got to be real. But that's the round trip. And, you know, what is that? $60 one way. $50 one way. Yeah, that's about right. And like, you got to fill up your car if you drive from Ottawa to Montreal, and that's $60. You know what I mean? Maybe you only have to fill it up. Usually I only have to fill it up once, but still, you know what I mean? It's like, it's affordable, you know? It's not dirt cheap, but it's affordable. And they got deals for kids. Business class, I think, is about double that. So if you could do like 200, maybe 250. But you do business class, you get a meal, and it's good. The food is not shit. It's not airline food. It's delicious. It's very comfortable in business class, and I heard the Wi-Fi is nice. So the point is, the train is legit. Take the fucking train. And I think, team, that's where we're going to end it for today. Thank you so much for being here on Things I Ate. I'm Tom motherfucking Murphy. Good night. No, I don't want to end it like that. Yeah, great job. Good work. I guess other thing, I got an agent, which is cool. Anyway, just an update. But yeah, so love you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe on all my fucking videos. I don't know what the fuck you would comment. Comment on something I said. One-way conversation, dude. I don't care what you have to say. But I do want you to write some shit. Maybe you could just write, like, gobbledygook in the comments. Just for the interactions. I don't know. Do whatever the fuck you want. Come to my show on July 18th. Montreal series. Just for laughs. Off JFL. And that's it. I love you very much. Follow me on all social media platforms at Tom DL Murphy on all social media platforms. I love you. Goodbye. Have a great day. Goodbye.